insights on the importance of internal customer service. And with that, I want to invite Mayor Patsimo Tafa, the Managing Director of Nef-Aid Solutions. A big round of applause to Patsimo.
Thank you, Director of Ceremonies. Good morning to you all. My name is Patsimo Tafa from Nef-Aid Solutions. Nef-Aid Solutions is a customer service consulting company. Our main services are mystery shopping, and we recently became BQA accredited, and we'll be bringing you great programs of internal customer service. My main topic for today is on why internal customer service is important. But before I go into why internal customer service is important, I'd like to first address customer service as a whole. Why should we care about customer service to begin with? Customer service, why does it matter? Customer service is important for various reasons. One of the main reasons why customer service is important is because it's been proven to help to reduce employee turnover. If you give bad customer service to your clients, they are likely to get negative feedback from them, and the situation between the front line and the customer becomes frustrating, and you end up not enjoying your job. And when you don't enjoy your job, most people are quick to look for the next way out. Customer service, why does it matter? Customer service helps to build a positive brand for organizations. For instance, whether you are in government, we tried a lot to invite government, parastatal, and NGO, and I'm happy to see that they have been represented here today. Customer service helps to build a positive brand regardless of which sector of the economy you come from. For businesses, the importance of customer service is quite obvious. It affects bottom line at the end of the day. For other organizations such as parastatals and government, the brand is affected by the customer service that is given by your front line. Customer service, why it matters. Customer service is important, especially for business, because it's been proven to have a direct impact on company profits. If you give bad customer service, for instance, to one client, you may look at that client as one client, but when you calculate the lifetime value of that client, you find that you are losing out a lot of revenue because of the way you treated one customer. And it's not just one customer. One customer tells 5 or 10 other people. And for that reason, those people usually listen more to the people that they know than they would to an ad that you place out. And one thing that I've come to find interesting when it comes to customer service is that the companies that really excel in customer service spend less on marketing and advertising. And you find that the companies that spend a lot of money on advertising, most of the time their customer service is not as good. For example, there's a bank, an international bank, Metro Bank. It's one of the companies that I found quite interesting. They spend almost minimal to almost nothing on customer service, on marketing. They spend a lot of their money on their people. They spend a lot of money on customer service processes and also their people. And as a result, it's helped their brand to grow to a large extent. Customer service, why does it matter? Because customer retention is cheaper than customer acquisition. As you mentioned, marketing, we always spend money on marketing, and marketing does a good job to get the customer to your business. Once the customer gets to your business, it's up to the employees, the front line, to create an experience that will keep the customer there and retain the customer. So customer service is very important, because if we do advertising, which is great, and then we do great customer service as well, we retain customers. But if we do a lot of marketing and then the customer service is bad when the client gets to the business, then it nullifies all the advertising that we would have spent our money on. Customer service as a differentiation strategy. Mr. Tuso mentioned about customer service being what sets, we all sell the same goods and services. What sets us apart is customer service. How do we deliver? How do we make our customers feel when they do business with us? And this is why customer service is important, especially for small business. We can use this as an advantage to well-established company. We could use customer service to differentiate our brand from existing brands and to stand out. Today, I'd like to talk to you about internal customer service. I've realized when it comes to matters of customer service, we usually focus on the external customer and frontline communication between the teller and the customer. But today, I'd like us to bring home where customer service begins, and that is with our colleagues, how we serve each other as colleagues. It's been said that if you want to improve customer service, you need to start with the internal customer. And just out of curiosity, how many of us actually view our colleagues as customers? Or we just view them as, hey, those IT guys or those people in that department? Okay, quite a few number of hands. Today I'd like to encourage you to start viewing your colleagues as internal customers. And the theme for today is we are all customers served with empathy. So as colleagues, we are also serving each other as customers, as departments, we are serving each other. I love this quote: happy employees ensure happy customers, and happy customers ensure happy shareholders, in that order. We need to start with the internal customer experience, work on internal customer service to better help the front line as well. If you are a front line and your organization most organizations only send their front line for customer service training, the back office are usually not associated with customer service, but that is not the way it should operate. There's training for internal customer service, and yes, it varies from the external one, but it's also very important because support is what determines how they give service to how frontline gives service to the external customer. Benefits of good internal customer service. One of the benefits that have been associated with good internal customer service is employee productivity and performance. If employees are happy in their job and the way they are being treated, they feel valued, they are more likely to be more productive than if they feel like they don't matter and they are ill-treated and they are not heard. When their ideas are brought up, they are quickly shut down. And so customer service, good internal customer service has been said to improve productivity. Another benefit of good customer service is that you get less employees leaving your company. If your company is a great place to work, that means your organization spends less money hiring new people. If people are not happy, you'll be changing employees quite regularly because they are not happy with the environment, they don't feel valued, they don't feel like they matter. Richard Branson is one of the men that speaks openly about customer service, and it's important, especially from an internal. He speaks a lot about internal customer service and how customer service has been actually one of the key factors that have differentiated his businesses, especially the airline, from other businesses. And finally, the last main benefits of good internal customer service is increased employee satisfaction. The reason that we took interest in Customer Service Week as Nef-Aid is because it deals a lot with internal customer service. If you look at the objectives of Customer Service Week, it's all about recognizing the important role of your frontline employees, quite often frontline are the ones that are the least paid. Sometimes, depending on the kind of environment they are working in, they are not treated well. They are not empowered to make decisions. And at the same time, they have a lot of pressure because they are the same ones who have to deal with the customers every day. When you make policies that are not customer friendly, as top management, you don't feel the heat as much as the people in the front line. The people in the front line feel the heat of all the decisions that are made in terms of policies, in terms of systems. When the system is down, they feel the heat, and they're expected to smile and be happy at customers each and every day. They're expected to serve customers well. Now, it's worse if they have this huge task of serving your customers, and then at the same time as back office, we are not supporting them. We are not giving them the kind of encouragement they need. We are not listening to them. They are letting us know they are actually the closest to our customers. And the reason we are in business, or the reason, even if you are a parastatal, the reason you are there is to serve your customers. And if we don't listen closely to the same people who serve our customers, then we could miss out on a lot of critical information, because they are the ones who talk to our customers daily. They know our customers better than we do. And so it's very important. Customer Service Week gives us that opportunity as leaders, heads of department, CEO, to sit down with our frontline and find out how do you think we can do things better? What are our customers saying? How can we help you to do your job better? So good internal customer service, it also promotes humble leadership, because when it comes to service, I know the typical triangle in management is the CEO, heads, and then line managers, and then junior at the top. But when we bring in the element of service delivery, that pyramid goes the other way around. Top management asks the front line, how can we best help you? What can we do to make your job easier? What can we do so that you can serve our customers better? And so they sit down with their front line, they hear them out, they act on that feedback. Because another thing is, one thing to hear people out and then not follow up or make an effort to make things well. So one of the very important critical elements in improving customer service is to tackle internal customer relations. And Customer Service Week is really about that. It's about raising company-wide awareness of the importance of customer service in successful business practice. And I believe customer service is underrated. There's a lot that there's a lot of benefits in terms of delivering great customer service, and the companies that have got it right are riding on by delivering great customer service. And great customer service not only helps you as an organization, but as a whole, it increases productivity in your workplace. It's really quite a broad dimension. It doesn't only help you to get more customers. At the same time, it helps you save costs hiring for new employees, because employees are not happy about the way they are being treated internally. So the way we approach customer service at Nef-Aid Solutions, we offer programs from Service Quality Institute, which address both internal and external customer service. We don't only deal with frontline, we also deal with the internal customer relations, because ultimately internal customer relations affect the external customer service delivery. And in closing, I'd like to thank our partners from FNB Botswana. Thank you so much. When we initially planned this, we didn't plan to have a setup like this. We just wanted to start on a basic level. It was an idea. We said even if 5 or 10 people come, we'll have our convention with that 5 and 10 people. But we're happy with the numbers that are there. We were actually humbled to have FNB say, hey, can we join you in this customer service week? And we thought, yes, that is awesome, and we really appreciate. We'd also like to thank our other sponsors, Amble Promotions. They helped us a lot with the logistics of this program. Thank you so much. Big Top Communications, thank you. Crystal Lodge, thank you. Dazzle Promotions, the Rinsi Foundation, Elegant Living, Errand Agency, COSAC Management Services, and each and every one of you who found it fit to come here today. We're happy that you're here today. We are also grateful for those who showed support in different ways. Their hands, the speakers, the panelists, the volunteers, Mr. Selawetao. He came all the way, he just arrived on the 5th. Yes, from America. He just saw the program and he said, look, I just told myself I want to do something special. I want to give a helping hand to a stranger that I don't know. Please put me in the panelists. Where can I help? And I thought, wow, I checked his LinkedIn profile, his great hospitality, and I said, please come in as a panelist. And I was surprised to see him here today. I was just working by faith that I haven't met this man. And, he's got broad international experience in hospitality, and hospitality is key when it comes to customer service. So I was happy to see him here today, and I thought, wow, thank you so much. There's still people out there who can just show up for a stranger and help, and I'm really grateful for all the support, for everyone who's here. I'd like to also thank the Research for Advocacy, and I forgot the full name, but we have a Research for Consumer and Advocacy. They will be in our panelists later. Thank you so much to everyone who's here and who found it fit to be here. We're hoping to see more companies celebrate Customer Service Week going forward. And when you do celebrate, please remember to appreciate your frontline. Those are the cleaners, the security guards, the receptionists. Customer Service Week, by the way, is not service excellence, although it can be incorporated. It's about saying the fact that you interact directly with our customers. Thank you for that job. Thank you for the role that you play. It's about recognizing the role of frontline as a very important role, not as a role of the least paid or the lowest ranking officers, but rather as one of the most critical roles, because to a large extent you don't know how many customers have left your company because of the front line. You'll never really know. And so we're saying that work on internal customer relations, make your frontline happy to be working where they are working, make their job easier. If you're heads of departments or CEOs, be the kind of CEO and partner that wants to see your team improve, that communicates well with your team, that creates a healthy work environment. We want to see more healthy work environments where people are happy to go to work, not when they think about work, it becomes frustrating for them thinking about their boss. I'm sure you've heard of there's a quote that says, it's actually a statistic finding that says it's been found that most people actually leave their managers, not the companies. So you see that it's the individuals. If someone it's not, but we usually tie the company to an individual and say this company is like this. But at the end of the day, if we all as individuals try to make the workplace more conducive and try to make the job of the front line easier, it makes it worthwhile and even pleasant for all of us to wake up and go to work each day. Thank you so much.
Another big round of applause for Patsimo, Nef-Aid Solutions Managing Director. She touched on something very important that we often forget, the internal customer. Because we focus more on the external customer and forget that if I don't deliver, I'm going to affect Patsimo, and she affects Lebogang affects Michael, and Michael affects George, and then, the trickle effect, and then boom, customer service is zero. So let's invest in our employees. Let's make sure that I understand the importance of my colleague's role in the business, that if I don't do my things on time, I'm going to affect my colleague, and ultimately the customer is going to be affected, and the end result is poor customer service. Thank you so much for articulating it very well. As you touched on the sponsor F&B, they really live to their tagline. You know, when Patimo called them, they asked them, how can we help you? And indeed, they came through. And the big boss will talk more about him later. Welcome, sir. We continue, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you so much for keeping time. We're right on time. I'm going to invite the next speaker. But before then, once again, how can my organization, because from here, we want to go back to our different organizations and make impact. It doesn't stop here, it doesn't end here. From today, tomorrow, the whole week, we need to be celebrating, posting on Facebook, telling us what you're doing, what you're seeing that's different, what you've implemented. That's the customer service week we want to see. It's not just a one-day thing. It's going to be a lifestyle. We need to change our thought patterns. We need to change our thinking. We need to redirect our thinking to a new thinking of customer service excellence. Now, here are some of the things we can do, or things that organizations must do. Some examples. Each organization celebrates Customer Service Week as much or as little as they choose. While every celebration differs, we would like to share some few ideas that you can implement in your organization. Activities that you may try out. We encourage employees to also be creative to make the week fun, exciting, and engaging. When deciding on activities, it is important to keep the following goals in mind, which are in alignment with the purpose of Customer Service Week, which is to, number one, increase motivation, celebrate teamwork, because oftentimes we just want to do things alone and are not excited when others have done well and get accolades. We also want to demonstrate gratitude, as well as raise company-wide awareness of the importance of Customer Service Week. We also want to emphasize the importance of good customer service, as well as remind our customers of our organization's commitment to customer satisfaction. And lastly, some of the activities may require funding, so plan well ahead of time so that you may get the funds to do the many activities that we do. This is just an example of what we could do to make this week exciting. With that, ladies and gentlemen, let me invite Madame Mildred Sinkala from COSEC Management Services to come and talk to us about empathy. Because oftentimes we talk about sympathy, but let's hear what empathy means as far as customers are concerned. Masingala, let's welcome her with a big round of applause.
Good morning, all. It's a bit cold. Good morning, all.
Good morning.
My name is Mildred Sinkala. I'm coming from COSEC. By profession, I'm a CA, I'm a chartered accountant. But I'm a customer. And I'm a customer of F&B for a long time. And this morning, with my experience in finance, I'll tell you that we need to be customers with so much need or needed in an organization. And empathy speaks it all. There is a difference between empathy and sympathy. Today we want to talk about empathy and why empathy for our customer. Why empathy within the organization. Pasitafa touched on internal customer. And we lack so much empathy within the internal customer. And what we don't have, we can give outside until we have it right inside the house. Then we can take it outside. So this morning I'll be sharing on a topic called empathy, mainly customer empathy. And as we can see, we are saying we are all customers, and let's say with what? With empathy. So we are going to be talking about empathy, customer empathy. What is empathy? My presentation is going to cover what is empathy, what is organization empathy, what is customer empathy. The whole presentation must bring us to a place of understanding this. The next thing we would want to understand is how does customer empathy affect the profitability of an organization? How does customer empathy affect the brand? You touch the brand. Do I walk away with so much frustration? How does it affect the perceptions customers have on a company? Because when I am not saved with such courtesy, then you do not have retention, because I'm the one that will speak ill about you. So we want to understand, how does it affect the perceptions customers have on our company? Does customer have good perception on our company? Empathy. This is the first definition I found from Bruce. It says empathy is the ability to imagine ourselves in another place and understand their feelings, desire, and needs. When you look at that definition, it moves away from sympathy. Because sympathy is simply feeling sorry. And you don't move any inch, you just feel sorry. Somebody will come to me and say, I'm so sorry. That's not empathy. Because he's not put himself into the shoes, into my shoes, and understand what is it that I need. And what we need is the ability to get into those shoes and see what we need. Is to feel beyond self-pity and be part of the need and the solution. Because sympathy, you just feel pity, I'm sorry. But empathy, you feel beyond and you become part of that need and that solution. It's therefore important that every organization builds the culture of empathy in order to serve each other better within the organization. And I said we'll start at home. I always have a saying in my office, I cannot be three people. I cannot be Masinkala, who is different at church, Masinkala different at home, and Masinkala different in the office. There's no way. Why? If I've learned empathy, then I'm going to bring it even in the office. Therefore, that's why every organization must begin with that culture, building empathy within themselves. When a culture of empathy becomes the norm, it will be easy to extend it outside the boundaries of the organization. If we don't have it within the organization, Percy talked about internal customers so much. If we know that we are internal customers and we are serving each other with empathy, then it will be easy to extend it beyond the boundary. But if we don't know that we are internal customers and we need to appreciate and show some little of gratitude, then we can't extend it anywhere else. It's also clear that empathy is a competitive age leaders and organizations are missing. We don't care enough. Even as managers, as CEOs, CFOs, we don't care enough. Empathy as an art of listening. Empathy does not hear, it listens. Because listening is between lines to get to understand the needs of someone else before they even speak. You know, when my child comes through and talks to me, if I have empathy, I'll actually pick the need than what he's talking about. So when a customer comes to a frontline person, if we have embodied a culture of sympathy, we are able to pick the need that the customers come to ask. But if we are listening, then we cannot pick the needs. Make empathy central to your company culture. Empathy goes a long way and all the way. Like we are talking about F&B, how can I help you? I think that's a long way and all the way. Because they are asking a question, isn't it? And they don't know how much I'm going to ask for help. But they are going all the way and a long way. The ability to understand someone else's point of view is essential for cooperative relationship. I quote, cognitive empathy helps teams manage with each other and allow them to collaborate and communicate effectively with each other, Valpo says. You know, when we have empathy as the central of your company, the CFO or the CEO does not look at this cleaning personnel that walked in and said, I think we should open the doors as early as 7:30. Cannot tell this cleaner, you don't know what you are talking about. Why? Because we are bringing that engagement and we are collaborating to understand what we need to do. Probably there is a reason that she thinks that 7:30 as the doors open, it might give a good service internally. That CFO must stop and ask, why are you proposing that time? Not to just shun that proposal. Empathy will also allow all ideas to be heard and the best to be chosen in the running of the business, also in the production of products and services. If we have empathy, we don't look down upon anybody. We sit to hear the story on the table. And when we hear the story on the table, we're not picking every story as it comes, but we are picking that which is best for ourselves to be saved internally, and then we extend it beyond the boundaries. Look at that hand. That's need, isn't it? Someone is extending, help me. Do we have that within the organization? Because if we don't have it within the organization, then we can't extend it beyond the boundary. But if we have it within the organization, it's so easy then to extend it to the external customer. Because we will always have a hand and say, reach me or touch me. So empathy is very key. When an organization makes empathy a great element of their culture, then everyone looks out for each other, making the internal customer sympathy easy and real. You know, you cannot just walk into the office and not pay attention what's going on with your internal customer. Maybe they are having a bad day. Maybe they've received a funeral. Maybe the child is sick. And then you don't pay attention, then you send them to be the frontline personnel. And then the person is in so much mood. What culture are you building? When we've learned this element and embodied it in the culture, it also becomes easy to practice beyond or outside the walls of organization. Because then we are able to share that. This will also make the external customer sympathy easy and real to follow through each and every staff in the organization. Remember, from the CEO to the frontline person, we are all having one vision. And that vision is that we are going to serve our customers better, because when we do, then we eat the bottom line. When we don't do that, then we don't have a bottom line, because the referral person just walks out and goes. Customer empathy will allow organizations to think and feel for their customer. According to Bruce Tekin, organization sympathy is a commitment by companies that they will work through developing a deeper understanding for their customer needs, and they will use this knowledge to serve those needs better. I hated standing in the queues in the bank. And then from nowhere I get a phone call from FNB. Why have you not moved from this level to that level? Because we can pick your deposits. Wow, that was brilliant. And this is what we are talking about, because that's a deeper understanding. This client might not have a need to be in the bank, but needs to do the banking. As organizations, we should talk about the emotions of our customers, their need. We might not ask them directly, but find out. We have a questionnaire box that we put there, which I don't know if anybody really opens it. I have a question mark if they really do open. We have a complete book that people will write in, and you wonder if they are addressing them or not. Because you come back, it's the same routine over and over. It's therefore important that the first contact personnel must be involved in all this. As we're talking about culture of empathy, where is the security guard that stands at the door? Does he understand? Where is the front person on the desk? Does he understand? Or when I get there, the security guard cannot even interact with me. And when he doesn't interact with me, then I don't know what's going on. I am asking the guy, where can I go and see so-and-so? I don't know. Why? Because he has never been brought in to understand customer empathy. Because for him to simply give me direction where I'm going, it's empathy. I'm not going to waste my time. And I don't have the luxury of that time to be moving one office to another. I want someone to direct me where I need to be and finish within my appointed time. They must understand the vision of the organization, and the vision we are talking about is the bottom line profit comes from that customer. And if they don't understand the customer empathy, they will not embrace that culture. They will not embrace it at all, and they will not have a purpose for it. Everyone in the organization must understand that need. It's something that you must preach, and it must be preached well. When everyone is made aware of the needs of the customer, everyone in the company becomes accountable. I wish I'd highlighted that word, accountability. Remember I said I'm coming from the finance angle. Accountability is very key in my area. And in the customer service, I want somebody accountable. I don't want someone who tells me, I don't know. So when you tell a client, a front desk person, I don't know, you've already put me off. Because the next thing my tone goes up, can I see your supervisor? Because you have already put me off by saying I don't know. So that accountability, everybody must know that from the front desk to either you're a door person or you're top management, you are accountable for that customer that walks away. You are accountable for that customer that is not happy. A simple smile and courtesy goes a long way to build a company's image. Sometimes we walk in a place, the person can't even say Dumela. Or you walk in, the person is just like, can't even have a moment to lift up and just smile. You know, a smile is contagious. When you just smile, you appeal to somebody calm. It's like you're saying, how can I help you? Without talking, isn't it? Interact regularly with your target customers. Interact regularly, engage and be sympathetic. You know, Percy touched on employees that are happy. Empathy, I said we should start it internally, isn't it? When your employees are highly motivated or are happy or are receiving empathy, what happens? They are triggered to a bigger thing as well. And they will exert that. Talk about your customers, people. Don't talk about them on statistics. Am I saying don't have the numbers of statistics? No, I'm a financial person, have the statistics. But categorize them, talk about them as people. Why? Because you're the person who is making the policies. You are a person and you've got feelings. And you must address those feelings. You must be empathetic because we are trying to save with empathy. You must remember that empathy retains your customer over and over to your products and services. And it turns your customer to become loyal to your brand. If you have not served me with courtesy, I'm not going to be loyal. Remember, I'm the one who will talk about you outside. And I will talk about you the way I feel like talking about you because that's how you presented yourself before me. Empathy is a great investment that can be only implemented by humans. And unfortunately, we want to bring emotions and moods and swings on the table. No wonder we are having automated machines answering. But I get so frustrated with them sometimes. You are on a hold, wait. You are on a hold, there's too much line, wait. But they thought it's a solution for us. Why? Because we are always on mood. Or we have issues that we've come with. But if we saved with empathy, it will become a great investment. Empathy makes you produce a product and a service that meets your customers' needs and desire. I talked about F&B. I never went there to tell them, hey, I hate coming in the bank queuing. But their empathy, looking at someone's profile, they came up and said, no, maybe we can meet our needs this way. Why don't we give her a phone call? Empathy creates happy customers that talk to other potential customers. I've already touched that. Empathy creates a good name for your company or your organization. Empathy puts you on top of your game in the industry. Remember, everybody's selling the same product. Everybody's doing consulting. So what is different about COSEX consulting? Am I saving it with empathy? Do I go an extra mile for you? Because that puts me on top of the game. Be an active listener. I think I talked about in empathy there is listening, not hearing, isn't it? Be an active listener. Listening is a very important value. When we listen, we are better organizations. When we listen, we find solutions. Innovation without listening is innovating for somebody you don't know what you're giving. But yet it's strategic, but a wrong strategy. So we have to do a good listening. Listening is key to empathy. It's also a great drive to create customer service orientation. The more such is cultivated in the culture, the greater value we put on the table for customers. As a result, the higher customer retention. Percy talked about retention. Percy Motafa talked about retention. It is costly to go and look for a customer than to have a customer come back over and over. I've got a number of organizations that came into my mind that I would want to talk about. But I particularly took two, and I would want to talk about the other one. But let me talk about the two. Does anybody know that? It's in the M is there, but that's a funny language there. That is McDonald's, isn't it? All innovation must think about a customer and listen more. Why did I choose them? They are everywhere. They're in Korea, they're in China, they're in America, they're in South Africa, they're everywhere. But there's something about them that shows you they are listening. Every culture they go, they are able to adapt their menu and their business to that culture. That is listening. Otherwise, I would come with one size fits all. So are we listening when customers walk into our place? Are we innovative enough to listen and do that? It shows that McDonald's shows that they respect the difference between cultures and adhere to company policies, and I quote from Bedeline. They adapt and they see how they can save better. You cannot adapt unless you have empathy. You cannot listen unless you have empathy. The process of adapting the menu to each region's culture cannot be done without empathy. It cannot be done without listening. The organization shows that it's wrapping itself into what? Into customers. Because policies are made somewhere. That's a franchise, isn't it? It's a big franchise. But somehow they've wrapped themselves into the customer service and they're getting to know what product is key. When we are saving or when we are coming up with strategy, are we wrapping ourselves into customers to pick that? It is very important. There is something we are all doing. Facebook. I don't know when I joined Facebook, but what I've seen is that it has evolved with time. The first time it's talking about the likes. Now Facebook has brought something interesting. Do you want to be remembered when you're dead? So that your Facebook is not closed, isn't it? That's empathy. Maybe your people want to remain and be watching the photos. If you are like me, I want to close it. Yeah, but they are coming up innovative with all these things. The benefit, I'm being told my time is up. The benefit of simple empathy to a business is that it increases your sales, loyalty, and referrals. Secondly, it accelerates your productivity and your innovation. Because when you have empathy, you are able to listen and you do things quicker. It's a greater competitive advantage and market value. Increases engagement and collaboration by employees. There is engagement because you cannot do without collaborating and engaging. Empathy as a weapon. That's one of my favorite quotations. It's a powerful quotation. Get closer than ever to your customer, and before they even speak, you know. Empathy is the ultimate form of customer insight. When you are empathetic, you get the customer insight. I leave you with these words. Empathy as a weapon. Empathy can be learned. It's also not a soft nurturing value when all organization focus is the bottom line, which is the profit, but a hard commercial tool that every business needs to put in their DNA. And I think you all know what DNA is. Empathy must be put in the culture as a DNA on an organization. Finally, empathy pays, and definitely pays best when it comes from the top, and it's made culture in the organization. Why from the top? We are the implementers. We are the only ones who can sell it better. Thank you so much.
Empathy, empathy. Do we empathize with our customers? Do we ever get into the shoes of our customers? As our guest speaker is getting ready to come in, just to share with you quickly that one of the commercial banks I used to bank with, no names because they're here, the business I was running was doing extremely well. Then a turnover of about 240K a month. I mean, extremely well according to my standards. You know, they served me very well. They would offer me facilities or overdrafts over 2 million, 3 million. I would, decline because I felt the business was doing well. I'd get into the bank, they would call me Mr. Brown, they'd make me coffee, and I felt like I was the greatest thing to ever happen to that bank. And guess what happened in the valley? Things went, did they go south or north? Things went south. And then, no, it was hard. Mr. BK, it was hard. I'll go to the same bank, they won't offer me tea. I'll be waiting for the manager for the longest time. The manager who used to come to my business no longer comes. I'll make an appointment, she doesn't fulfill it or he doesn't fulfill it. And I was like, what's happening now? And then things changed. From Mr. Brown, they started calling me come here. And I was like, when you don't have the mullahs, they're not very nice to you. But anyway, about FNB and other banks that are here, I know Stanbic is a very good one. I can see other people. I can't mention them, sorry. Erase that. FNB is a very good customer. They take care of us. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I was waiting for our guest speaker to settle down. As I said earlier, I've been given the powers to change things around as the director of ceremony. I'm a very powerful director of ceremony. I can start the program without the guest speaker because the guest speaker has changed now. We have a new minister in the office of minister in the office of Nationality, Immigration and Gender Affairs. The last part, Gender Affairs, is no longer. We've fired. I have the powers. I fired Mr. Ngaka, and I have a new minister in that same office, and she's none other than Mayor Toto Victoria Muhuruti, who's coming in as the acting minister. Ms. Toto Victoria Muhuruti is the private secretary to the minister. The minister had other business and says, my friend, go and become a minister for one day at the customer service convention. Now, she doesn't only come to us as a private secretary to the minister. She's well vested in customer service. She used to work as a deputy district commissioner in Lemolaudi. And in that role, she met plus minus 50 people a day. And you know what that means. Botswana want entitlement, they do it the way they want. Now, let me not spoil it for her and invite the acting minister for this day convention. me how to they go hide blessing or after October 24 let me invite me Dr. Victoria Mohuruti. Let's welcome her with a big round of applause, standing on behalf of the minister.
Thank you, Director of Ceremonies, invited guests, organizers of this event, Nef-Aid Solutions and their partner at Abu Promotions, members of the Fourth Estate, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I greet you all this morning. I greet you all this morning. Thank you. Just as the Director of Ceremonies has rightly pointed out, I'm here on behalf of the Minister who couldn't be here this morning because he has other official duties. But in any case, okay. I have accepted with delight the invitation to be part of and to deliver a keynote address at this event, marking the celebration of the International Customer Service Week, which is the first of its kind in Botswana. I wish to congratulate Patsi Motafa of Nef-Aid Solutions for this great initiative. On the 26th of June 2019, the Ministry of Nationality, Immigration and Gender Affairs hosted the Women's Expo under the theme Positioning Women Entrepreneurs in the Digital Era. This initiative by a woman is indeed in line with our mandate to promote gender equality. As such, we are pleased to see a young woman taking the initiative to create awareness of such positive international activity and localizing it to our market. The theme of this convention is "We are all customers, serve with empathy." The theme speaks to the fundamental relationship between the service provider and the customer. It highlights the importance of why service providers must strive to deliver excellent service at all times. It allows reflection of the part of the service provider to remember that they too at some point require service from someone. Therefore, when they serve, they must assume the standpoint of the customer in order to serve with excellence and empathy. It is indeed commendable that various sectors of the economy are represented at this convention. I'm reliably informed that the following sectors are represented: health, creative industries, economics and finance, beauty, retail, education, and the media, just to mention a few. This is because interaction between the client and the service provider cuts across all spectrum. Consumers of goods and services may assume varied synonyms. For example, in the health sector, they are patients. In some sectors, they are clients. And in other, they are customers. But all in all, they are customers, and today's theme speaks to how they must be served with empathy in order to attract them back for future continuity of business and the strengthening of customer service provider relationship. Ladies and gentlemen, it is well documented phenomenon that the customer service is an area that needs much attention in Botswana. I believe all of us here have a story or more to share on their displeasures whilst requesting for service at some point. Can you relate to the statement? I'm sure you can. It has been declared as one of the factors that stifle economic growth. We live in a global village where our country competes with the rest of the world for investment, business opportunities, and markets, amongst others. From the foregoing, good work ethics form an integral part in growing a comprehensive economy. This is the reason why government highly articulates for excellent service delivery, more so towards the achievement of Vision 2036 that pronounces prosperity for all. The Ministry of Nationality, Immigration and Gender Affairs is mandated to facilitate immigrants. We are the receiving point of investors as they enter our country looking to invest. Thus, all services offered to them ought to be of exceptional standard in order to impress and retain them. As a developing economy, Botswana needs investors in order to broaden the market for sustainable economic opportunities. The saying that first impressions last is highly regarded. At ports of entry, specialized services are offered to investors of value as a way of relaying good impression upon them. Also, the ministry has a call center where customers are given opportunity to relay issues of their concern on a daily basis. Moreover, within every month, a day is reserved for the public to interact with the minister through what is called public phone-in. The date and time are published on daily newspapers so that each and every Botswana can get to call as and when they feel they have issues with our ministry. The number for the ministry call center is 0800. I'm sure you might want to take this. Our call center is 0800. Who knows, maybe you are going to have issues with your man, issues with passport, issues with birth certificate, death certificate, you name them, all the issues that, all the services rather, that our ministry currently delivers. It's 0800 600 777. Thank you. Reforms are being continuously executed for effective service delivery and to cut red tape, which in most cases hampers service delivery. Examples of these are the Botswana Blue Card, which allows for persons who have renounced Botswana citizenship to retain the right to unlimited stay in Botswana. In order to make Botswana a country of choice for international tourists and investors, and to be more facilitative and attractive, government introduced yet more reforms in September 2018. Also, visa at some ports of entry has been introduced recently, especially for those visiting national parks for a day and for other persons visiting for not more than 14 days. Ladies and gentlemen, it is imperative for business owners to continuously re-engineer their processes for improved service delivery. For small business owners, improving customer service can afford them competitive advantage over large companies in the marketplace. Clients gain confidence in a company's ability to deliver. A business would want to retain their customers. On the other hand, satisfied customers always refer others. Director of Ceremonies, at this point, allow me to pass my sincere gratitude to First National Bank Botswana for their kind gesture as main sponsor of this event. Your continuous support cannot go unnoticed. We thank you. May I also encourage others to emulate this noble gesture. In closing, I wish to extend my sincere gratitude to all the organizations that heeded the call to come out to celebrate this important occasion. I hope that this initiative is not a once-off activity, but that it will gain traction and continue to grow annually, sensitizing others in our country not only celebrate Customer Service Week, but to also put the customer at the center of service delivery in their organizations. That way, we will build a strong culture of excellent service that will allow us to compete with the rest of the world. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I declare International Customer Service Week Convention officially opened. I thank you.
Another big round of applause for Minister Nakanaka Boots. You know, till the end of the day, she's the acting minister. In a very close way, minister. Thank you so much, madam. That marks this convention officially opened. Right, and thank you for keeping time to all the speakers. We managed to change things around, but we are right on time for tea break. Now, this is how we're going to do at our break. As I've been directing the ceremony since the morning, I've been speaking the most. It is appropriate that I get to eat first, and then others will follow me. But this is how it's going to happen. After I eat, we will have the minister and the panelists, the sponsors, eat first, in protocol, observed by me in front, and then, we'll call each other one by one. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Our breakfast will be served as we go out. We go to the left. Our ushers will guide us. Can we let the minister, the sponsors, the facilitators, and the speakers to go first, and then we'll just follow right after them. It's now 2 minutes after 10. Let's be back at 28 past, so that 10:30 we start. Our intention is that by 12:30, as we agree, we'll be done. Sticking to time, so that 1 o'clock we'll be able to see. Thank you so much. Ushers, please let us lead the Baholo to, yes, it was open. Yashara, ka konter ko parter mo tele Baholo. Okay. What is your party? Baholo, but lead them because it looks like the ushers are still inside. Okay. Facilitators and speakers, please follow suit, and our distinguished guests as well, follow them. Doc, let's